ancestors come from. And patriotism, and because there is the word pater in it, suggests that it must be the sort of love or care for the place where your ancestors, where your fathers or your ancestors lived. But my patriotism I advocate must rather be a care or a love for the place where you would like your children to live and to be proud of living. But this patriotism must be an embedded patriotism, a multi-layered patriotism. You must be able to be both proud and ashamed of what is being done in a particular neighborhood, in the neighborhood in which you live, in the city in which you live, in the region in which you live, in the country in which you live, in the European Union, if you live in the European Union, and you must have some sort of attachment to that particular community. But it must, of course, be an attachment that's an attachment shared by all the people who happen to live in this particular environment. And I'll just finish with an anecdote to illustrate what I mean by that. There was a number of years ago, I can't remember exactly, there was a racist fire happened in a commune here in Brussels, not very far from here, called Schaerbeek. And it was a Moroccan family living in, parents and children living in that house, and the parents died in the fire. It was provoked by the man who lived next door, who was a supporter of the extreme right party, the Privot. He was identified as such, etc. So there was no doubt about who did it. But then a neighbor from the other side had put a ladder against the house and had managed to save the 3 children of the Moroccan family. And the man who saved them was also sort of standard Belgian, ancien Belge, as we call them, so people of local origin. And there was, on television, there was an interview, just 2 days later or so, of 2 young adolescents, young adults of Moroccan origin, living in Schaerbeek. And the journalist asked the Moroccans, how do you feel about the events and what happened? He said, well, I'm proud of what the man with the ladder did. The journalist said, proud? How can you be proud? You didn't do it, though. And so, how can you be proud? Yes, they said, but he's a Schaerbeekois. He's someone from Schaerbeek like me. And so, and so that's an example of what I mean by this whole strategy, what you need to create. And so, in my view, this is really as central as the previous strategy in terms of long-term strategy for a movement against racism. What we need to create is not only this bastardization, which enables people to meet as individuals and to develop affection for each other, solidarity with each other, fall in love with each other, and so across the borders between ethnic groups. And so that's all related to bastardization, all the way to then making all these kids who are bastards, so mixed race in the literal sense of the term. I made 4 of them like that. But beyond that, it's also a question of developing a collective political identity that is defined in terms of place. We must not get rid of this sort of solidarity within a political community, but this community must be defined in terms of place. And it has all sorts of implications. For example, one of my many other